The one thing we really want to do is go ahead and set up a free trial for ourselves so that we have the opportunity to go in and actually do some of the things that we're going to see in the videos. So in order to do that, let's just go at the bottom of this page here. We're going to click on free trial, and we're going to go ahead and choose the E3 plan. Right? So we'll pick the E3 plan. The E5 plan is a relatively new plan, and that plan is going to have in it some features and some opportunities to do things like PBX over the internet. A little more advanced, and we're not quite there yet. So we're going to go ahead and pick that E3 trial. So let me click on that. When I click on the E3 trial, it's going to bring up a form. The first thing you have to be very careful of here, the very first thing you need to pay attention to is your country code right there. Notice that I have the United States. Of all the things you do when you set up your Office 365 trial, this is the one thing you cannot change. Because what you're doing is you're telling Microsoft which data center to build your subscription in. So in this case, it's going to be in the US. If I happen to be over in Europe, maybe I'd pick Switzerland if I was up there and enjoying the snow. But for now, we're going to stick with the US. That's the one thing that you have to make sure you actually get right on the first try. Beyond that, we're going to have to fill in a first name. And here you want to make sure you're using a real person. A lot of people sometimes think, oh, I know, we'll just name it sysadmin or something like this. This should really be an account where you have a real person's name in it that you're going to actually be using. And keep in mind that this account, we'll talk about it in a later video, is going to be the first global administrator for this subscription, for this tenant environment. So we'll provide that. We'll give it a business email. This is going to be an email address that doesn't exist right now inside what you're hoping to set up as your Office 365 email system. And the reason for that is we need to be able to send and receive emails to this prior to all of that being activated. So I'm just going to use a temporary email address that I have set up here for myself right now. We'll go out there and set that up. Business phone number, again, whatever number you want to actually go out there and use to give you the ability to go and receive support calls if you need them. Then you're going to put in your company name. For now, this is just a label. This is just a place we're going to put in, your company, whatever you want it to be. And here they're going to ask you to choose your org size, right? Because we're using an E3 plan and I want to get as many features available to us as possible, let's go ahead and put 1,000 people in there, just so we have the right amount of users in case we want to go out there and build something. And we'll click the next button there. Now that we've got the next screen up, they're going to ask for a username. I'm just going to put in my name in Kennedy, and this is going to be part of your login ID, so please make sure you remember this. And then you're going to put in your company name again, but in this spot, what you're doing is you're creating the initial default domain for your organization. Typically, most people like to go through the process of using their actual real domain name in here. Okay, so for example, yourcompany.com would be your domain. So I'll just put in your company. Now my guess is that's probably already been used before, and I'll get a little error here saying, hey, sorry, that's being used. If you find that to be the case, this is really not going to be the long-term domain that you're going to use. A lot of times the solution to that is just putting some number at the end of it to make it globally unique. And now you're good to go. The next step is to go and create a password for that account. And we'll just put in a password here in our environment so we have the ability to do that, and click Next. Now, to make sure that you are in fact a real human setting this up, they're going to ask you to fill in a cell phone number. When you put in your cell phone number, you'll click the Next button. They'll send you an activation code to your cell via text. It's going to be like a 4 to 6 digit number that you'll put in just to verify it. And that will allow you the opportunity to build and create your first trial account in Office 365 so you can start going through some of the exercises we'll be doing in other videos.